When talking about translating or transitioning from our at-home exercises into our actual sport, a lot of the times we can kind of get mixed up, or we don't get a pure one-to-one translation because most of our exercises are kind of in this linear, i.e. in one kind of plane. We're only going forward, we're only going sideways, where a lot of our sports are somewhat rotational, right? Whether I'm talking tennis or golf or frisbee, any of that kind of stuff where we're moving in multiple directions, up, down, rotating, bending, all that kind of stuff. A lot of our exercises kind of negate or don't necessarily focus on that rotational aspect. So what we'll talk about today is a great exercise that we can start to build into our programming and into our prehab, rehab exercise group to start to address our ability to rotate. This is called the Pallof Press. Now, we're going to show it in just one position, but know that there are many steps up and down, and we'll show at least one of those kind of variations that we'll do. All I need is a very light resistance band, and I'm putting that just about chest height. In this situation, I'm going to be standing with both legs planted on the ground, but of course, you can always make things a little weird if I'm on one leg when I'm throwing or rotating. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I'm on one leg and working backwards, right? The world is your oyster in general, but you're going to need to make this exercise appropriate for yourself, and that's where working with a professional is going to work the best. But here's how we work on the basic level Pallof press. So again, resistance bands at chest level. I'm going to take a step out. I'm not going to go too far just for this instance, but I'm taking steps out so there's enough tension on that resistance band that my body wants to turn back towards that anchor point, okay? So I'm here, I have that band right about chest level, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to press the arms out. What this does is increases the lever arm, right? So back to physics, oh no. We know that the farther away something is from our body, the heavier, the more resistance it's gonna have. Imagine you're holding a plate of food here, and imagine you're holding a plate of food out here, right? It's gonna be much harder with that arm out. Same thing for our core here. So I have a little bit of tension. When I bring the arms out, that's gonna increase the drive or the desire for my body to rotate away. So I'm working on staying strong through the core, and this is what we call anti-rotation. So pressing back and forth, this is the Pallof press. This is as easy as it gets, okay? So, of course, you can make this harder by stepping out farther, so now there's no more resistance. What I can also do is I can start to turn my body with this. So I like to call this stirring the pot. So, first way I like to start off by stirring the pot is I keep band close. I'm going to rotate away, right? So I'm contracting and pulling it farther. I then push the arms out. This is the most rotational force is trying to bring me back as possible, so I'm holding strong here, and I slowly and controlled let it come back to neutral. I can go all the way back, totally fine. Bring it back in, and we repeat. Bring it all the way out, slow and control, all the way back, in, out. Good. I can do the exact same thing in the opposite direction, knowing though, when my arms are out, this is going to be a lot harder of a contraction than previously before. That may mean I need to step in a little bit so I can keep nice and stable in my core. I'm not pulling through my shoulders or using my hips to push myself through. I want all coming from my core. So feet are locked into the ground, shoulders are back and down. I can start back, rotate up, in. All right, we're stirring the pot in the opposite direction here. Again, you can hit this in a lunge position. You can hit it in an upward position, in a downward position. With my golfers, I like to go downward, right? Because that's where you're golfing. Tennis, we're in the center. All sorts of different things, variations that we can do to make this specific for you. But we always want to start off with just the basics, right? Day one, hit this in our programming. If we are in rotational style, sports, whether again that's golf, tennis, badminton, all of the above, right? I would recommend 2 to 3 times a day, about 5 to 6 slow and controlled reps in each direction, whether we're talking about stirring the pot or just the pure straight out and back. We'll do 5 to 6 slow and controlled, taking about 3 to 4 seconds per rep if we're just bringing the arms out. Of course, it's going to take a little longer if we're stirring the pot because we have more room to go through, but 5 to 6 reps each side, 2 to 3 times a day. That's going to create a really solid foundation for all of our rotational athletes.